Here it comes, that counting skill.
There you
3,
go.
4, 5. All right, we should hopefully have this figured out now. I guess some of our stream slipped through, and people know our master plans of having the grand SEC Studios slash JC's second storage space.
There you go.
All right, we're back. Hello and welcome everybody to round 2 of this social engineering community stream where we're talking about the Youth Challenge. So I'm JC, I'm one of the co-founders of the SEC, and joined with me are still 2 amazing people. They haven't changed in the past 5 minutes. Mandy and Kyle. Kyle, I'll let you introduce yourself first this time.
Okay, well, I'm Kyle. I'm stymied because my introduction line is different now because I'm going first, but I'm the less attractive of the 2.
Oh gosh. Okay. And then I am Mandy. I am Kyle's wife, and we work together to form this whole event and these challenges, and we're really excited to talk about them and present them. So
I feel like the energy is undersold. This is so freaking cool, and I can't wait to actually get into the meat and potatoes of it, because it's something that we thought about doing just to kind of make sure there was something for the kids, because I know in previous years there had been something for the youth to be involved in, from just a challenges and a social engineering aspect, and we want to make sure that's continued, and those kids have something to look forward to if they're familiar with it, or if they're brand new, there's something for them to be engaged. And even more so because I was recently made aware that the Roots Village, where it's pretty much a dedicated space for DEF CON, is not coming back. And I think DEF CON is doing like a DEF CON Kids thing to replace it, but I don't think there's anything right now this year really kind of focused on kids. I know a lot of other villages have kid-centric things, and ours being one of them, but there is no more kind of a mothership for the kids. So this is, in my opinion, even more important. So I'm really glad we're doing this. And on top of it, I have a note that says, make sure to mention it's free. So if you are going to DEF CON and you get a DEF CON badge, this is included. We're not charging extra. We do have limited supplies, but this is pretty much for the kids for free. There shouldn't be any additional bars to be able to participate. And our registration is up right now on our website, se.community. And when you come to DEF CON, we will be in the link on the 3rd floor in the social A room. And that's where our social engineering community, the competition, our presentations, but also this youth event, where you'll be able to find Mandy and Kyle with their challenges. And I guess that's where we start, right? Is the story. What is actually going on in this challenge?
okay, so I'll kind of dive into that. So from the very beginning of time, we already know this. Heroes and villains is our theme, and that's kind of been something that's been a rivalry for as long as we can remember, as long as comic books have been a thing, right? And so we have 2 teams here that are going to be registered into this event. Half of the participants are going to be heroes and half are going to be villains. And obviously heroes just want to get rid of the villains because they're wreaking havoc and having their evil schemes that they're doing, and they don't like that. So heroes want to win. They want to dominate. And then the villains are sick of all these heroes because they're ruining all their fun, and that's stupid. So they are going head to head in this competition, and they are going to be having, both of them will have handbooks, and they're going to have, right now, currently we have 65 different challenges is kind of the count that we're at right now. And they're going to be able to use their handbook to have a choose your own adventure type of style event challenge that they're going to be doing, where they're going to be able to earn points for doing all these different challenges. And yeah, so that's kind of the story behind everything.
Okay, so as you're signing up, you have the option to pick whether you want to be a hero, or whether you want to be a villain, or whether you just want to be assigned randomly. But I think the goal on the back end too is we will do some balancing so that the teams of heroes and villains are matched, correct?
Yeah, so like you can say, hey, I'd prefer to be hero or I'd prefer to be villain, and we'll do our best to honor that. But if we have to keep that even, then we might need to do some shuffling. But
Little side switching, little
yeah,
change of heart. Okay.
there's anti-heroes out there. There's people that are kind of gray.
Awesome. So when you register, apparently you'll be able to pick if you want to be a hero or a villain, or if you just want to be randomly assigned and want to roll the dice. You're in Vegas. What better way to start as a youth in Vegas than letting Kate pick whether you're a hero or villain? Well, okay. So we have heroes and villains, and when you think Batman and you think Gotham City and you think of the Flash and wherever the Flash lives, big comic book guy. There's a city, there's a setting. So in our youth challenge, we've got heroes and villains, and that's what the kids will play. What is the city?
Well, the city, surprise, surprise, takes place in Las Vegas. So our setting is going to be in Vegas. Just so happens to be where you're at also. But Vegas, which is renowned for its casinos, its parties, and the heat, be the setting of this event. Be quite fun. But once a year, all the heroes, the villains from all around the world, descend upon the city of Vegas for a special conference that happens. And this is the opportunity for our heroes and our villains to vanquish evil, to rule the world, and to face your foes.
All right. So we got heroes, we got villains, and they're coming from all over the world. Sounds pretty on point for this conference, this superhero, supervillain conference. They're meeting up essentially to vanquish each other and compete. Something that's interesting in Gotham City, right? There's a mayor, an integral part of the city. Is there an integral mayor or someone in the city, kind of some type of leadership that knows about these heroes and villains?
Absolutely. So this year, the mayor is quite busy, and so we were able to get the vice mayor. His name is Kyle Snickerson. He's actually, there's a family relation there. He is my twin brother, and he will be acting as the master of ceremonies. He will be there to present an award or a ransom for the villain. And
what an honor.
What an honor.
What an honor.
And I always get lost with, I know, Kyle, you come from a big family with many brothers and sisters. And so I always forget about your other brother, Kyle. So it'll be great to see him out there and have those hero kids and villains compete. So they're in Vegas. They're competing on behalf of their side. How does this actually work? How does one of these heroes or villains actually compete in Vegas? What does this look like?
So we have, as I mentioned before, handbooks, one for the villain and one for the hero, because you need as many resources as you can get. They're going to have the listed challenges there. These challenges there's a huge variety of them. Some of them are puzzles. Some of them are like at different villages throughout the entire conference. And there's a lot of different people that we've recruited to kind of help with that. And so if you're reading a challenge that you have to do and it states that you need to go to a specific place, or if you do a puzzle and it says you need to find said person at said place, we have these volunteers that will be wearing wristbands, our social engineering community wristbands. They look just like that. They're beautiful. And that will just kind of help those participants know who to talk to and who to get that extra help from to be able to get that direction. And then, as I said, they have these handbooks that they're going to have a PDF document that they'll be able to scan, and they'll have that PDF that will be their handbook, and they'll be able to look through and choose which of these many challenges that they want to do. The beauty in that is that it can really be their own adventure. It can be their own experience, where maybe if they're not really super into puzzles, but they really like kind of getting out of their comfort zone socially and like trying things wacky, then they will have those opportunities. Or maybe they're really into like, I don't know, want to expose themselves to different villages. There's those opportunities as well. So after they've gone and done these challenges, or while they're doing them, really, they want to make sure that they're documenting that they've completed whatever challenge that they've said that they want to do. And as they have that documentation, then they will bring it just back to the checkpoint where they initially signed in and got all their stuff from Kyle and I in the social engineering community. And then once we see that verification, we see the documentation that they've done it, then we will give them their points on our end. And that will be tracked on a leaderboard that they're going to be able to have access to and kind of see how competition is doing. So they'll hustle around the conference doing as many challenges as they can and then come back to us, basically.
Okay. That was a lot. So
yeah, it was a lot.
There's a lot of pieces. So let me make sure I got this right. So
okay.
When you check in, you're going to have a PDF and access to a PDF document. So as my hero or villain self, I should have a phone or a tablet or something to access a PDF, and I'll get either my hero's handbook or my villain's handbook. And if I heard this right, this is where it's kind of cool, because as my hero or villain self, I can choose my own adventure. I don't have to go to step one and work one after another. I can kind of pick and choose what I want to work on, right?
Yeah, it's your story. You're the hero, you're the villain, you choose.
So it's really up to you, right? Yeah. How you want to win. Excellent. So once I do that, what are some of the ways that I'm documenting my evidence here that I've completed a challenge?
So it'll indicate that in the handbook based on whatever challenge, but generally most of them are going to be a video of you accomplishing maybe a task that it says. It might be taking a picture with said people or said items. It might be receiving a flag from like a particular location that it states, all those different things, and it will just be indicated in the handbook.
Okay, cool. And so once I get that, I come back to you, show you this evidence, and then you'll award me the points. Yep. Should I have completed it right? Should I have followed the challenge? Yes. And then those points get updated essentially real time when we score it. There might be a minute or two delay, right? But yes. It goes onto our website. So if you go onto our website under DC 30 scoreboards, we have two scoreboards. The first one is for our fishing competition, but right underneath that is the youth challenge. And it looks like there's 5 heroes and or villains signed up right now. I think there's a couple more being accepted. And so they'll be able to track their scores and standings in real time.
Yes.
All yes. Very cool.
Okay. And they'll also have, in addition to that, just a list of all the different challenges that they can kind of use to keep track of what they've done.
Awesome. So we're a social engineering community. That's kind of our bread and butter. How does social engineering get incorporated into the training? Or I'm sorry, into the challenges?
Absolutely. No, so the challenges in this choose your own adventure style event is really when you go to some of these villages that we are working with or around the conference, you will need to provide either video evidence, like a video scavenger hunt, so to speak, or you will need to acquire some type of prize or token saying that you have completed this challenge. Now, the citizens of Las Vegas who are wearing these wristbands, they have been trained to help the aspiring villain or hero with their challenge, but also not make it too easy. There is some work effort needed. Now, each of the challenges do have some form of social engineering needed, either through some form of trickery or pretexting, information gathering, and so forth.
Now, are all challenges social engineering?
Not all challenges are social engineering. Some are more puzzle-based. And so if you decide social engineering is either too easy or too hard, you have other events that you can work on in tandem or instead of that will get you greater exposure to DEF CON.
Awesome. I think that's what I'm most excited for, because you both have been working not only diligently and hard on these challenges, but also collaborating and interweaving these challenges into other villages, right?
Yep. Other villages have been gracious enough to assist and help out with this. And so we have several villages that we've actually started working with. I think we have roughly 8 that are on our list.
So this is one of the things that I know me and Snow are most excited about, because as we listen to this, we almost wanted to give up this and do your challenge, because as really just as an adult, this is kind of a curated reason to go into a village and have a purpose and a reason to interact. So it's not so much just coming in and kind of looking around and then leaving. This is actually giving you a reason to engage with those village volunteers and understand what's actually going on. So not just social engineering related, you're also getting some exposure. Kyle, do you know a couple villages off the top of your head that you're excited to work with? I know we're going to post a full list.
Yeah, so a couple that we are working with are, like, for instance, the Lockpick Village, which is actually holds a special place for me, just because that's actually the first conference or the first village I went to any DEF CON when I first went. And I like what you mentioned, that it's giving you a little bit more of an agenda or some things to do when you go in there, because when I first went into the Lockpick Village, I was all by myself. Obviously, there's lots of other people there, but first time I went in, I didn't know what to do. And so now you have some tasks that you need to complete. And so even if you end up going in and don't like it, you can still go in, get exposure, and then move on to something else. Or if you do like it, it's DEF CON, so you make what you want of it, and you can stay there for the entire conference or wherever. They'll be happy to have you. But Lockpick Village, Blue Team Village, Rogue Village, IoT are just a few off the top of my head.
And also, if you are an adult and this sounds great, please shoot us an email for feedback, because if it is, we'll come up with an adult version, because it's a very cool way to have a reason to go explore some of these villages and know what you're getting into. And did I hear correctly about 60 some challenges?
Yeah, there are about 60 challenges, and most of the challenges actually take place within other villages too.
Okay,
Yeah.
So they're not sticking around.
65.
Okay, awesome. So they're not sticking around the social engineering village. So you're going to be moving around, doing other things, and experiencing DEF CON, which is amazing. But 60 challenges, you have Friday, Saturday, and Sunday morning. That's a lot of work. For all that work putting in, what are we getting out of it? What do the prizes look like?
Oh, we're excited to talk about these. Okay, so the vice mayor has told me that we are going to be able to give out the key to the city, and so Las Vegas has graced us with the key to the city for our grand champion. Now, we did mention we have 2 separate teams. We have our heroes and our villains. Well, there's got to be a winner. There's got to be a superhero or a supervillain among these 2 groups. And so for the superhero or supervillain, we have the key to the city, and we also have a cash prize of $200. And so this will either be a hero's stipend or a villain's ransom.
Okay, so you got the teams heroes and villains, and then out of all of them, there's a grand champion.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and then they get the key to the city, $200 in cash, and then are there any other prizes?
There are. So we have our runners-up. These are the first place winners of the heroes group and the villains group, and each of them will be receiving $100 cash as well.
Okay, awesome. So no matter what team, you can be the grand champion. You have the option to win the key to the city, and after that person's chosen, the next runner-up from both teams gets $100 as one from the hero and one from the villain side.
Absolutely.
So I have to find $400 cash, is what I'm hearing.
Or hire some minions, and no.
Well, I will be at the blackjack table trying to fund this challenge. Awesome work, Kyle. So we've got 65 challenges, heroes and villains. We're in Las Vegas competing for the best of the best from all across the world. How old do you have to be, or what age groups is this open to?
So originally the age that we kind of thought was 10 years old to 17 years old. However, I will say I'm actually an educator. So that's my profession. I work in education, and I know of people who are younger than 10 who would thrive and love doing this too. So, I mean, it's genuinely one of those things that's up to discretion as a parent. I think just general recommendation would probably be 10 to 17. However, if you've got a child that's younger than that and you're really thinking they would enjoy it, there are, like you said, 65 challenges. One of the reasons why we designed this, at least my educator brain, in this way for kids with such a big range, is because it really differentiates and provides an opportunity for kids, regardless of their age or regardless of their interest, to be able to find things that they can be engaged in and learn from, and just kind of all around have a good experience with. So if that answers your question.
It does. So we're aiming for 10 to 17. And, you know, as a parent or guardian, if you think that this child is capable at a younger age, that's on you. We're not checking kid IDs or anything like that. Come on over and give it a shot.
Right.
And they might, you know, as long as they take one thing out of it, that's a win in my book.
Who knows? Maybe an 8-year-old will be the grand champion.
You never know. But this brings up an interesting thing. So where do the parents and guardians fit into this? Because I know it's the youth challenge and not the, like SEC mini routes, right, where we're taking kids on. So as a parent or guardian, what's my responsibility for bringing my kid into this event?
Well, good question. This is Vegas, and so we definitely do not recommend letting children run amok. We would prefer that any of these aspiring heroes and villains be accompanied by their parent or guardian, and also to help act as a mentor. Even though the challenges are designed to be completed by the hero and villain, having some additional help and mentorship there, it always goes a long way.
Awesome. Okay, so definitely if you're the parent or guardian, it's still your kid and your responsibility. So please stay with them is what I'm hearing. Also, it gives me the benefit of being able to help out and coach and guide as needed. And then also, just to reiterate an earlier point, right, we're pushing them out into other villages to learn. So that's a great opportunity to maybe allow these youths to actually have a chance interacting with these other individuals in the village, volunteers, other attendees, and ask these questions. Because I remember the first time I went to DEF CON, that was the aha moment for me, was the fact that there are people that are just ready at the drop of a hat to share their knowledge. And it's such a good feeling to start to experience that. So as a parent, sounds like it's my responsibility to help move them around and make sure they stay safe. But definitely let them get help from either you or the community at large. So kind of speaking with that point, how do you foresee networking and those social skills in this challenge? How do you best advise that's pulled off?
Well, I mean, there are such a big variety of different types of challenges at this event. So there are going to be puzzles. There's going to be different social engineering opportunities with smishing and vishing and all that kind of stuff. And so having that mentorship from parents and an adult will be helpful. But beyond that, I think even for adults, I mean, as a parent, it might be pretty cool to just have your kid do it and go along, because regardless of if you're a kid or an adult, you're at this huge conference with all these different villages and all these really cool events and things happening. And it's a little bit intimidating. And it's a little bit daunting to figure out where to go and having that direction. And I think having some structure of having, like you said, a reason to go to these villages and try something new, to kind of break that barrier makes it a little bit less intimidating. And not just for the parents, I mean, and not just for the kids, but also for the parents that are with them. It kind of helps out with that. And then I think more than anything, like you said before, it just kind of gives that opportunity to give some exposure to a lot of different areas of cybersecurity for these kids.
Awesome. No, it sounds like a win-win. I honestly wish that when I was a kid, I had access. It's so cool. Okay, so Las Vegas, superheroes, supervillains, head-to-head, cash money, key to the city. Kyle has a brother. He's a twin. There's a lot going on. There's always surprises and other cool things. And I know we talked about the different characters and the handbooks and the puzzles and different activities. We talked about the villages. Are there any other surprises that you have or cool things coming up for these kids as they compete?
I mean, there's a lot of cool stuff. So I think one of the biggest things, and you'll see this when you see the handbook, whether you're looking at the villain handbook or the hero handbook, there are actual characters that are like weaved into all these different challenges, different storylines. Some of these challenges are weaved together in different ways. They have some of these characters you may even meet. Like there's all sorts of different things that you might find. So it's going to be kind of cool.
Awesome. Vice Mayor's brother. Any other things from your side?
I don't think so. Not for me. Maybe you'll just have to come and see.
Agreed.
Nothing else?
Nothing else other than all the villages and all that kind of stuff? Are you wanting me to say something?
Not even one other cool thing that
like
people love at DEF CON?
I'm not catching what you're putting out there.
There's a whole life dedicated to around. It's like this whole subculture at DEF CON.
Oh, well, we do have our own.
Oh, there you go.
There it is.
There it is.
Oh my goodness.
Mine's not soldered yet, but I think he has one.
But mine is, and this is one of the things that I'm most excited to present with the help of Kyle and Mandy and the idea and inspiration. We managed to barely make our, like 3 versions later, our own, you gotta put on my forehead, our own badge. So you can, the scale of my forehead here. And this is kind of cool because I feel like it's a fairly intro level badge. It's got 1 switch, a battery pack, and 11 LEDs. So it's everything's through hole. It should be fairly straightforward to solder. But the coolest thing is all of the LEDs have their own integrated circuit, which flash and strobe and go out of sync very quickly. And we've got some pictures we'll post later, but it is these batteries are like 2 days old. It is bright when it's first on. So just as any badge collector, it's kind of fun. And with the Mandy and Kyle's design of kapow, right, I think works great for our heroes and villains theme. That's all I was looking for.
Sorry, I forgot about that surprise. It is a pretty big surprise. I mean, kapow, you know.
I
just wanted you to tell the surprise.
Villain needs their calling card, and so you will definitely be noticed once you turn on the badge.
It doubles as a nightlight.
Yes.
It also doubles as a searchlight, and don't put it at the top of your car, or you might get pulled over.
Right. So I know, that probably sold it right there. If everything else didn't sell it, the badge probably sealed the deal. So at the end of the day here, I'm a parent or I'm a youth going to DEF CON, and I see this. Obviously, I need to go get my parents' permission. But once I have that, and or I'm a parent or guardian, how do I sign up?
How do you sign up? Okay, well, first off, there are limited spaces. We have about 90 just due to finite resources of people to sign up. So if you want to guarantee a spot, the easiest and best way to do that is to pre-register for the event online. And so if you're able to do that, then that will guarantee you your spot. However, we are also still going to be able to, as long as we have spaces available, we're going to allow people to participate.
As like walk-ups.
Yes, as walk-ups at the actual conference. Yep.
So if it's Thursday morning and you're standing in DEF CON line and you're wanting to know if you can still register, I think registration will be off by Thursday, but you could come over to our village, see if there's space, and sign up there in person. It might not be too late, it might be too late.
Right. Just depending on numbers and based on the resources that we have. I know we also discussed potentially, if you are able to pre-register, you might also be eligible to be able to have a little bit of a head start with getting your handbook a little bit sooner, which might benefit you because then you can, have a leg up on the competition.
Awesome. So pre-registration means I'm more likely to get in, plus I'll get a leg up. Heroes and Villains, Las Vegas, 65 challenges, key to the city, cash money prizes, experiencing DEF CON in a curated way through other villages, solving puzzles, social engineering challenges. Kyle's got a twin brother. I think we covered it all. Badges. I think that's it. So unless either of you two have any other last minute things to cover or words of wisdom or encouragement for our heroes and villains or aspiring heroes and villains.
Just that it's going to be awesome. And that, I troubleshooted this with kids at the school that I work at with about 100 different kids. And it was like small potatoes compared to where it's currently at. And they loved it. And they said, oh my goodness, I wish I could do this. They were so excited to be able to just participate in like a small teeny itsy bit of what this whole thing entails. And I can't see kids not, especially kids that are interested in this stuff, like not enjoying their experience if they were to come and give it a chance.
Awesome. And you heard it here first. It's awesome. And we have a money back guarantee, mainly because it's free. It's free. You don't have to pay for anything. Sign up as long as you have a DEF CON badge, and we have spaces you're in. So with that, we're done. A couple little housekeeping notes. If you'd like, join our mailing list. It's on our website right on the homepage, se.community. That's it. That's the URL. There's no .com. There's nothing else. It's se.community. Put that in and you're off. Sign up to our mailing list. That's where we'll put announcements, news. We're also on Linktree. If you go to Linktree, that's linktr.ee/SEC_DEFCON. That has all of our social media where we're on Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, obviously Twitch, YouTube, where we will post this recording. If you want to come back to it later, we'll post this recording. So join our mailing list, follow us on social media, stay up to date, and hopefully we will see you and your hero or villain at DEF CON 30 here in August. Oh my goodness, what date is that? August 11th, 12th, 13th, 14th. So the the challenge is the 12th through the 14th. We're excited to see you there. Thanks so much for joining our stream and have a great evening. Yeah, it's evening. All right, it's time to go to bed, everyone. Goodbye.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.